Well, hi, Lydia. How's it going?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Happy
So we're
Wednesday afternoon.
happy Wednesday, inaugural day.
Oh, that's right. We're hoping everybody's all happy and gentle
Yes,
and nice.
be kind.
Be kind. I like that. Bumper
Yes.
sticker, be kind.
So we are giving our update, our forbearance update and housing policies update, and we have some great information. So you take it away first, Sarah.
Thank you, Lydia. I will. So we've been talking a lot about the numbers, what's going on, and what does that mean? Kind of how does that apply to today's borrowers, things like that. So I like to give that overview on where we stand today with our forbearance update. And it did drop week over week. So now instead of being at 5.5% of mortgages that are in a forbearance plan, it's down to 5.37%, which is kind of a nice drop after we had a very, it really was kind of flat for a while. So it's a little bit of a drop, which we'll take. It still keeps us right around 2.7 million homeowners are in a forbearance plan.
Right.
And we also watch those, what stage, because forbearance plans typically run in 30 or 3 or 6 month kind of segments. And so
Yep.
people get, they get started, they can extend, or you can re-enter, are those kind of big ones we watch. So people
Right.
entering their initial stage in forbearance actually did it increase, or that decreased. Initial stage decreased. In our initial stage, we're not having a whole big issue with people who are 30 days late, things like that. It's really what the biggest group of people who are late on their payments, or who are the heftiest group within a forbearance plan, are the extensions. So most
Yep.
people are in an extension. 80% of loans in forbearance are in an extension currently. So that's quite a bit. And
Yeah.
re-entries is just over 2%. It did increase slightly, but that's kind of hanging out. We really are watching those extension ones. And then we also pay attention to what's the situation when they leave and when they come out of their forbearance plan. It's great. We're still hanging out. About 45% of all borrowers in forbearance are leaving paid. They're in good shape. They're paid up. They're current. The group that's really the group that we want to focus on, and it did increase a little bit week over week, there's 13.5% of forbearance exits are exiting with no loss mitigation plan. And
Right.
one thing Lydia and I talk about a lot is forbearance is not forgiveness. You do have to repay that back. There are different ways to do it. There are options outside of working it out with your lender, but you can do it with it. You can negotiate a loan modification. There's a lot of things you can do directly with your lender servicer. So you always want to remember that you do have, any borrowers have options, but that 13.5%, they're the ones that really need to know that they have options.
Right.
And
And they do need to put something in place, right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because otherwise, it's just saying, I hope I don't get foreclosed on.
Right. Right. And if they don't have an exit strategy or don't have a plan in place to begin with, it eliminates them from more options. And you and I are big about giving people options. So better to know ahead of time, what are my options now versus what are my options 3 months down the road, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And and we know that a lot of policies coming out of DC and things are happening that they're trying to, we want to have a stable market. We want to keep people
Right.
in their houses, and that is a
Right.
goal, but sometimes we want to make sure that the policies fit the needs.
Right. Yep.
So do you
Yep.
want to talk about some of the proposed policies
Yeah.
there?
So some of the stimulus plan that they're talking about is 1.9 trillion, and that is including rental assistance for those folks. Um,
Which
it
is good.
also eviction notices, things like that. What else does it include, Sarah?
It extends foreclosure and evictions through the end of September.
Yeah.
So
So
we're
that's
talking about
2021 of September.
like these moratoriums now. We're looking 15 months long.
Yep. And the problem with that is that, now we're kicking the can down the road. So if you are in a situation where you've either lost your job or had a furlough. There are people going to be losing their jobs over the next few months. Unfortunately, I have friends in the airline industry, and some of those people have been told that there is going to be layoffs because people aren't traveling right now with the pandemic, which, it's a trickling effect of everybody. So,
Absolutely.
unfortunately, that's the reality of it right now. So we would, instead of kicking the can down the road and getting less equity for your house, better to have a plan in place now and try to get the most equity you can and then regroup and decide what you want to do down the road. Because the last thing you want is to just put a band-aid over it, but then still lose your house. And that's,
Right.
you and I are in the business of home ownership.
Right. We want to keep people in their houses. And that's some of
Exactly.
the things, and so we got to see what this plan and what that would entail for forbearance,
Yep.
because forbearance is really, it is a solution. It is saying,
Right.
okay, you're struggling. Let's figure out what we can do.
Yep.
Extending a foreclosure moratorium, I mean, all that does is it's a band-aid without actually having a solution to get better. And so
Correct.
we want to make sure that people know that the forbearance program is still available, and it is now. It may change, it may, it may look different, but so many are focused on that eviction and
Right.
foreclosure moratoriums that they're kind of forgetting, oh, the forbearance plan really is a solution.
Right. And it is a loan modification. So someone could take that and actually make it a permanent loan modification. That is an option for you.
Happens all
So,
the time.
yep, yep. So there's just things like that. FHA and VA, you were telling me, Sarah, that moratorium goes off unless they extend it. That one's going to be done by the end of next month, February, correct?
Correct.
Mhm.
Unless any of this new stimulus plan, if it's approved and all that changes things.
And includes the FHA and the VA homeowners. So,
Yeah, could.
yeah. So next week we have some good information. So give us kind of a tidbit of what's going on.
So, with any of this, there are a lot of things, a lot of plans that people are trying to offer for solutions. But unfortunately, anytime when there can be some financial crisis, there are plenty of people out there who want to take advantage of those people.
Absolutely.
And it's really unfortunate. We hate seeing when you're like, oh, that happened. Oh no.
Yep.
Like
it seems to stimulate more people to be taken advantage of during this time.
Exactly, because when you're under that kind of pressure, there's extra anxiety, extra pressure. That financial stress is some of the worst stress out there that people can be under, and it makes them make some decisions that may not be very beneficial. And
they're
so there
not
are
thinking
some,
straight.
yes, exactly. And there are some people out there that are, taking advantage, and we'll go into detail because this is something that we actually want to spend some time on. But next week we will be talking about just ways to make sure the borrowers are protecting themselves, and, as the agents out there are helping protecting their buyer or their homeowners, and making sure that, you can be of assistance. So there's
Right.
some interesting stuff we'll be talking about.
Yep. And as always, you can always contact Sarah or myself. We are in the business of home ownership. We have some really great options for you. If you are in that situation, call one of us. We would love to sit down, give you options of what different potential ways that you can work around some of these issues and what works best for you and your family. Because the last thing we want is for you to be taken advantage of. And we will discuss some of the ways that people are taking advantage next week. So make sure to come back next week.
Sounds perfect. Well, thank you so much, Lydia. As
Thanks,
always,
Sarah.
appreciate your insight and your time.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.